Unsportsmanlike conduct.
That guy. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Sub 1620. The Zone.
Mike Ferrin, Sirius XM MLB Network Radio. Ladies and gentlemen, now singing the Mike Ferrin Open, it's Mike Stibbs.
Just make sure it sounds sexy, Stib.
Lord Almighty, how can you stand Arizona? Your fair skin must be burning down into your absent soul. Mike, 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 we can barely hear you. It sounds to me like you called us from inside a hole. But your phone calls lift me higher, like the ERA of Mark Pryor. Your hair looks like it's on fire. You're Mike Ferrin.
Hey, everybody, it is Mike Ferrin. You got the great bottom of the screen and the yet-to-be gray beards on the top of the screen.
Someday they will know the horror of this. It's nice that you're rocking your Steve Ottaveros jersey today.
Yeah, this is the 77 Cubs road throwback
sweet jersey, man.
When they broke these out in 2016 against the A's, I was in tears that entire series because you had the awesome uniforms of the Oakland A's with these road jerseys for the Cubs, the light blue with the white pinstripes. I was just like, this is the best in the world. And
Can I make it an unpopular confession? I hate the baby blues. I hate baby blue uniforms in general. Growing up watching those, like the Phillies, Expos, Cardinals, like all of those are terrible. There's like two of them that I like. The Royals ones are really good.
Yes.
Which fits because it's basically, I mean, it's not royal blue, but it fits their colors. And I liked the Jays new ones, but the Jays wear them too much. Like they're just, I'm out on the baby blues. I never liked them. I was happy when everybody went back to road grays.
I would agree that, it can be overdone. Like the Twins broke them out. The Rangers have broke out baby blues. But I am a mark for baby blue uniform. I love the color baby blue. I just always have.
No chance. I would rather see teams go back to alternates like other alternates. You know what I really love are the cream like home Sunday uniforms that some teams have. The Phillies have one. The Mariners have a great one. The Mariners Sunday uniforms, they're not cream, but they're like they've got the Ken Griffey Jr. era, like early era gold and blue, and like it's super bright. Those are amazing. Those are amazing, like callback uniforms. But I would rather see teams go to those. The Cardinals have a good one too. I'd rather see they go back to that like 40s, 50s, 60s style off-white than go back to the baby blue. The baby blue is trash.
I like the cream. Trash?
A random one that I always liked, and I don't know why, because they were so loud and obnoxious, but I did like those. I don't know if they still wear them, the black Mets jerseys that they would have in like
I hate those.
I've always liked those, even though there's like blue, there's red, there's all sorts of colors involved in them. But I don't know. I was just always a mark for them.
The only like super colorful one that I liked were the old Tequila Sunrise Astros ones. Those are still great because they're so orange. Like they couldn't possibly be more orange.
Now you probably haven't watched much NBA. Have you seen the Utah Jazz uniforms?
Yeah,
it's basically the Astros uniform on steroids, and it's
horrible.
It's not good.
No.
It's really, and unfortunately, we've had to watch it because it's been on.
I feel like everything is a color form commercial now.
Dude, it is crazy. It's crazy how just many uniforms there are. Like, God, now I sound like one of you guys with your gray beards. But just like the number of uniforms that teams have compared to even when I was growing up, let alone when you guys were growing up. You had
a home and a road.
That was it.
You never had a third one, and now everyone's got
like 4 or 5.
I think the Cubs still have just the 3.
They have the blue, the royal blue,
the blue, the gray, and the white. But there's most teams have at least 4, and I think the Diamondbacks have about 6.
We had 8 at last year. We've narrowed it down now. I think it's more like 6 now.
You still have like the tank top thing with the like the undershirt, like when they won the World Series?
No, they did. They were wearing those as throwbacks, but they did away with the throwbacks this year. The every once in a while they'd pull out those. But I mean, I actually like what they did with it. They kind of toned down the uniform a little bit this year, but I think it looks great. I really like the D-backs font on the front. I think it's kind of cool. It's got that kind of, it feels like you're looking at a snake or at a White Snake video or something like that. Like it's really, it's cool. Like I like what they did and just kind of go into a more traditional gray. But and they've got a teal alternate at home that's, I think looks pretty good. So they brought in the snake logo, more the snake with the ball in the mouth. So I really like the tune-up that they did this year, but still have, I think, 5 or 6 uniforms this year.
All we need now is Tawny Katane to dance on the hood of a car there at the Diamondbacks game.
If she could put the ball in play, I would not mind her hitting 7th right now because the Diamondbacks offense has been scuffling a little bit.
See, for the youngins, Tawny Katane was this model actress who was going out with the lead singer of Whitesnake, David Coverdale.
So you're objectifying women again?
No, they were.
She was objectifying women.
she married Chuck Finley. That was the other thing. She was married to Chuck Finley, and the pitcher, and most famous of the Angels. And Finley and she were involved in an altercation. This was probably about 2003, where she was charged with domestic assault. And his first start back was at a White Sox game, and the PA announcer played "Here I Go Again" when he came out. Or whoever that did the music, that was the last game that they worked for the White Sox.
Well, who was it? We had it in What You Say a couple weeks ago when, and I can't remember his name, the Blue Jays catcher who got caught.
Reese McGuire.
Yeah, and the song
the organist did beat it on the organ.
Yeah.
I missed that. That must have been my vacation.
Yes, it was.
That's funny.
But you could hear Chip Carey and his partner saying something, and he starts to giggle because he picks up on it, doesn't acknowledge it, but just
that's good.
The Braves organist is on Twitter. Matthew Kaminsky is his name, and I think it's just Braves organist. But he is really clever, really clever.
It was a highlight moment. Now, Mike, we don't have any interregional games to compare, but I think going into the season, we kind of assumed that either the East pod or the West pod was going to be the most competitive, and the Central pod was probably going to be the least competitive. A month into the season, has anything changed your opinion on which pod looks the strongest?
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that's a good question. I don't know. I think the West, the American League West, does not look very good. I don't really refer to them as pods because really you're playing most of the games inside your division anyway. It's just it's a regional.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out how to classify.
Yeah, I mean, I think the American League West looks pretty weak. The National League West, I mean, I think there's a good team that's in last place in the National League West right now, but clearly I have some bias as you can tell from the hat. So I'm a little bit surprised that the Diamondbacks are 13-17 to open the year. The National League Central has been a bit surprising in that battle hasn't been as robust as you would anticipate,
It sounds like you're on your phone right now. You're cutting in and out. This is amazing.
Is it us or is it him?
I think it's him.
Because I don't know. We're all frozen too. Everyone but me right now is frozen on here.
Oh, awesome.
Well, I can see myself. I'm moving.
Can you refresh Steve, why don't you refresh your feed since it's coming out of yours, and John and I can just filibuster for
Don't go anywhere,
right,
Mike.
We're going to filibuster. Hang on.
I like how he stopped answering the question because he's like, why are you guys giggling over this? The internet's not been very good. Hey,
it's
Mike!
really hard to freeze for that long.
Hold on.
Turn him on. Hey, Mike.
Hello. It's really hard to freeze for that long. Like that was really getting tough.
You did a great job, but then Josh said, but the fan's still going in the background.
I got 3 credits for mime in college, so that worked out.
Now, Mike will remember this, but
cool.
But the police not police academy, but police squad. The Leslie Nielsen movies. They would end every episode like that, where everyone is just frozen in place, but they're not really frozen. So someone's like pouring coffee, and the coffee's still pouring, and that's how they would roll the credits.
You did a really good job, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you. We were talking about the competitiveness of the regions.
Yeah. Yes.
National League Central having like the Reds as far underwater as they are, I think that's a bit of a surprise. I would say the American League East, only in the Baltimore is at 500. Like that's fairly surprising. So National League East being as bad as it is, I think is a surprise too. The Marlins, the top two teams in each division are going to get in. The Marlins are over 500 and in second place right now, and they've got 37 games to play. Still, but I mean, they're in as good a position as anybody. The Mets are taking on water with their pitching staff. The Nationals have a ton of injuries, and Philadelphia is actually, I think that's a team that could make a little bit of a run. Their starters are pretty good. Their offense is very good. They've upgraded their bullpen. So I think maybe those are the biggest surprises, but I don't even know how to really evaluate it. I mean, it's 30 games, right? So like, the rules of the game have changed, but the game of baseball hasn't. And so it's made it tougher to evaluate than I thought it was going to be, because we're just not used to having this short of a season. I mean, I said it today. It's a little bit like you're hungry, and rather than eating a meal, all you're doing is snacking all day. And that's kind of what this season feels like. Like you're going to be left unfulfilled, but you're going to consume 5,500 calories and probably, like have your blood sugar go through the roof as a result.
Yeah, and along those lines, Mike, I feel like this season is going to just be perhaps the ultimate tease for Dodgers fans. Like, you look at them over the last half decade, and they have had like these really great seasons, and of course they have ended, horrifically or depressingly in every single one. And right now they're on pace, like in a 162 game season, for the most wins of all time. And I'm just wondering if once again they're just going to tease their fans to no end. Not only is it good and maybe they won't win a title, but it's really good and they don't even get a whole 162 games to enjoy them.
Well, I mean, I think listen, if you haven't enjoyed as a Dodgers fan this run over the last 7 years, I don't know that you can enjoy anything, What
is going on?
I think Stibbs, it's your.
It's got to be. Yeah, you're both frozen on here.
Yeah,
you guys are all frozen.
Well, that's too
It's
bad.
the internet in this building.
Very cool.
Or your computer.
Very cool.
Yeah, well.
One of the two.
I don't know that it's necessarily the internet.
I don't know what to do.
What are we going to do, Stibbs? What have you done?
Why am I in here twice?
I was going to say.
Oh, he left.
Yeah. All right. Well,
maybe he's going to try to rejoin. I don't know.
You
all left. Mike's back. Come back
Mike's
in.
back.
Hang on. I'm going back in. I
love how we're doing this all live right now on the radio.
This is live radio. Do I need to take over the show? Welcome to Unsportsmanlike
That's
Conduct,
right now.
friends of the program.
Did he freeze again?
He did.
I think it's John's computer screwing everything up.
Why would
I know you think I'm messing with you, but you won't connect right now. It's like got an error message next to you.
Just
there you are.
Yeah.
Oh,
are we back?
Hey, Mike.
Back.
Oh, yeah.
I thought I was going to have to host the show for a while.
Mike, you're
almost
about
did.
to talk about the Dodgers. Let's see if we can try this one more time.
I think if you haven't appreciated as a Dodgers fan how good they've been over the last 7 years, then you probably shouldn't watch sports, because that's like they've been unbelievable. I mean, like if they are to win a World Series this season, I don't think that it necessarily means anything, less than it would have in any other year. I mean, we knew that they were going to be a really good team coming in, and the last time, well, not the last time they won the World Series, but the time before was 1981, which was a shortened season, albeit not as truncated as this one. So I think, just appreciate how good a team it is. And I hope that Dodger fans do, because it's 7 consecutive division titles. And I don't think that there's any real sign of them slowing down in terms of their competitiveness.
We're only a month in, but obviously we only have a month to
go.
As I saw it this morning on Fangraphs, there are 6 teams that have a 6% chance or less of making the postseason: Kansas City, Detroit, Seattle, Boston, the Angels, and the Pirates. Do you see any strong candidates for sellers in that group?
Not based on Dayton Moore's comments today. He said he'd be looking potentially to add, which kind of takes Trevor Rosenthal off the table in Kansas City. Detroit doesn't have a whole lot that they could move. I suppose Matthew Boyd would be of interest if he pitched better, but he's really struggled for the most part to this point in the season. Pittsburgh has maybe a couple of appealing pieces. They have some controllable starting pitching, but the Angels, but it's a tough spot to be in for the Angels. Joel Sherman made a good point on TV today that Billy Epler is on the thinnest ice, their general manager of anybody in the game. He doesn't have a contract for next year. This will be 5 straight potentially losing seasons with him in charge. Will ownership allow him to move anybody that's not a free agent at the end of the year? I mean, I think it's a legitimate question. So I don't know. I think you probably are more likely to see some contender deals. Maybe the Red Sox will move some guys if they eat some money. JD Martinez would certainly seem to fit that kind of mold, and especially with everybody using the DH right now, maybe that makes sense. But I don't know. I just don't. I have a real tough time trying to handicap this trade deadline because one, we're in a spot where nobody has any money to be able to spend, and it's a shortened season, and it's a 3 game opening round of the playoffs, and 2, I'm not at the ballpark to talk to people as much, so I can text and call, but I don't really have a good sense. I think there are some teams that will want to be more aggressive, but it's going to take them lining up with other teams that are aggressive as well.
Mike, speaking of handicapping things, are you confident at all, just going into the playoffs about what you're expecting for anybody? Is there anything you're confident in with the playoffs this year? Beyond that, it'll be unexpected, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I think if we get to the playoffs, I think it's going to finish. Is that that? That's
solid.
That's something. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that I think maybe more so in baseball than other sports, you've got a chance for an upset of a number 1 seed in the opening round. Basically, you just need to win a series, right? 2 out of 3. So, I'm pretty confident that there's going to be some wacky results that come in it. But other than that, I mean, I think the Dodgers are going to be there. I think the A's are going to be there. I think Minnesota is going to be there. I think probably Tampa and the Yankees. Other than that, I think the Padres getting on national TV would be really exciting because more people need to see Fernando Tatis Jr. because he's phenomenal. So, and he's got he has the charisma that maybe Mike Trout lacks a little bit to be that kind of effervescent star. So, I think that those are things that I feel pretty good about in the playoffs. But other than that, I don't even know how to begin to think about it. I mean, maybe the last week of the season we'll get a better sense of that once we determine how healthy teams are. And I'm not talking about from a COVID sense, but just how healthy they are going into the postseason. Today's leader in WAR is in the let's see, in the National League or in the American League? In baseball. Is Mike Yastrzemski of the San Francisco Giants? Yeah. His grandson, who we saw at the College World Series a few years ago. Yeah. Great story, man. He went back to school for his senior year, was a late pick by the Orioles, spent 6 years in their minor leagues. They traded him rather than add him to the 40-man roster to the Giants, came up midseason last year, and he's been a star. He's been really, really good. It's a great story. Yeah, 30 years old, and he's finally getting it done.
All right, real quick, Mike, before we let you go, you said something earlier that it concerns Stibbs and I, so we're going to play this back and just confirm exactly what you did.
This may be why God is messing with our stream and trying to get us knocked off because of what you said earlier.
I hate babies.
Whoa!
Oh, man.
Look, man.
What? I hate babies.
Woo. I mean, I'm not really a fan either, but I don't broadcast it.
And I just want to point out, I'm a 44-year-old man who's married with no children. So you can draw your own conclusions. I hate babies.
Hey, at least he doesn't have to watch Doc McStuffins.
Yeah.
Good point.
Oh, that's made up. There's no chance.
It's real. It's real. And he is not a porn actor.
Let me give you the one that watching nieces and nephews that killed me was Dinosaur Train. That show is the worst. That basically is, the Simpsons episode where the kids news gets replaced by the Mounds Mattel Chocobot Power Hour. That's what Dinosaur Train is. You can smell the marketing on that a mile.
No, look
Stupid
it up.
Kenner.
Doc McStuffins is real.
I'm not going to because I worry about getting a virus.
And, by the way, it's about a little girl who plays doctor.
I hate it. This has been great. I hope you guys are on again next week.
Hey, we made it through yesterday.
Yeah, that's true.
What did you do yesterday?
Well, we talked a lot about
Doc McStuffins.
That's when we learned about Doc McStuffins.
Oh, man. God. Hey, good luck with all those lawsuits for the Big Ten. That'll be great.
Yes. Yeah.
Have fun covering that.
Yeah.
Hey, at least you have something to cover.
Fair.
All right. See you, Mike. Thanks.
See you later. Bye. I hate babies.
That worked out pretty well. I had to go find a different S for the end because the other one didn't work.
Yeah. Well done, Stibbs. Well done.
All right. We'll take a break and be back with more Unsportsmanlike Conduct in just a few moments. Well, speaking of the Big Ten and lawsuits, we have some more information on that.
I have a take on the parents, too, that I want to get to.
Oh, boy.
I guess I could kind of fit in with the lawsuit stuff.
Well, let's do it next on 1620 The Zone.